Hello everybody. Make sure my sound's up. Good evening. Welcome to our feelings. Here, come on in. Come sit down. Come here. You can sit here. Yeah, sit next to me. So my son Henry's going to be hanging out tonight. You don't have to be on the camera. You just sit next to me, okay? He's in need of a little bit of some support. He's got a little thing going on in his hands that's, it's a little stressful when you're a kid and you're used to feeling great, and sometimes you get a little something and it's stressful. So he's going to sit with me. He doesn't really want to be on camera, but he's going to sit on the couch here and just hang out. And we're going to do the feelings on me and him. So as you're joining, what I want to encourage you to do is see if you can find a quiet spot. Hi everybody. And I want you to grab, if you have your feelings kit, grab your feelings kit. I also want you to grab a journal or just a piece of paper and a pen. And that is all that you need. If you have any of the oils from the kit, that's great. I'm going to read out the oils from the kit. Hi everybody. Thank you all for coming on time. I want to read you the oils in the kit so that if you don't have the full kit, but you have one or two of the oils, you can just have those with you and you can use them. So if you have Valor or Valor 2, have those handy. And if you have Harmony, have that handy. If you have Forgiveness, have that as well. And Present Time, Release, can you tell they're all purplish pink colors, and Inner Child. So those are the 6, Valor or Valor 2, Harmony, Forgiveness, Present Time, Inner Child, and Release. And again, if you don't have all of them, totally okay. You can pull out any oils that support your emotions. Frankincense, lavender, what else would be good, Hen? Sacred Mountain, what do you think? Stress Away, Surrender, anything that makes you feel really good. Okay, so I think that we have actually some folks that are hosting Feelings Kit classes around the world. So if you are hosting a class, would you please just give us a shout out? I'm going to change this light because it's really bright. Give us a shout out. Let us know where you're hosting a class, and let us know how many people you have there with you, because that's so super fun, right? We just did a live class in Boston for the Feelings Kit, and we had about 35 folks in a yoga studio, and it was really wonderful. But we know not all of you live in Boston. Wouldn't you all, we'd be so lucky if we all lived in the same city, right? So we figured that we would try this class just so that those of you who don't live in Boston or don't have a Feelings Kit class near you, you'll still be able to experience it and go through it. So who has a class? So Daniela has a class in New York with 4 ladies. That's awesome. Who else? Who else has a class going? Who else have we got? I'm pretty sure there were quite a few folks. Hopefully they'll be getting on, because I want to wait and not start until we have everybody here. And I will post a handout to the team page afterwards, so that you don't have to worry about writing this down. You don't have to worry about doing all sorts of note taking. I will include a little handout with the instructions for the protocol and all the journaling prompts that I'm going to give you tonight. You'll have those. So again, all you need are your Feelings Kit oils or any oils that support your emotions, a journal or a notebook or piece of paper, and a pen. And if you do have space, if you want to do some yoga poses or you want to lay down, it's really nice if you have a space where you can lay down. I'm not going to be laying down because I'm going to be holding the space for everybody, but if you have a couch or if you have a yoga mat that you can put on the floor, Henry's right here on my soft cushy rug, being able to lay down and really be in this protocol is really, really helpful. So there we go. Deborah, I knew you had somebody there with you. Hey, Ruth. All right, so here's what we need to do first. Oh, and if you need your diffuser on, which of course we do, highest potential is a wonderful blend to put in your diffuser for this protocol. So I'll give you a moment if you need to set up your diffuser. Highest potential is awesome for this. In fact, I'm going to give it a little sniff. You want to smell some, hun? Yeah, okay. All right. So my Henry's here with me tonight. We're going to be doing the protocol on him if he decides that he wants it. All right, so here's what I like to do. Typically when we're in the group, what we do is we go around the circle, if we have a small group, and we ask everyone to share, you know, what is one thing that they would love to release tonight. So since we have a group that is virtual, here's what I'd like us to do. First, I want us to just take a breath, and I want us to get into this class because just 5 minutes ago, I was racing around trying to make dinner. Like, everyone in my house went out into the snow, and then Henry's here. I'm like, where's Dad? Where's Evan? It just got really crazy in here, and so I need to take a moment as well so that I can be here with all of you and be present. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to just either sit up or lay down, whatever you wish, and you're going to put one hand over your heart, and you're going to put one hand on your belly. And you're just going to close your eyes, and we are going to breathe for a moment. And as you're breathing, I want you to tune into your body, and I just want you to notice on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, oh my gosh, I am a crazy, frantic mess, and 10 being, whew, I feel very steady, calm, grounded, stable, balanced, and just perfect. I want you to notice where you are now before we start the protocol, okay? So just go ahead and close your eyes. One hand over your belly, one hand over your heart. Go ahead and take a few deep breaths in and out. Just notice where your body is sitting. Where is it coming in to this experience tonight? Between 1 and 10, 1 being totally scattered, frantic, ungrounded, not like yourself at all, crazy maniac person, and 10 being grounded, balanced, supported, steady, even-keeled, feeling 100% like your true self. Just notice where you are. Continue to breathe. You can give a nice sigh out if you find that you already got lots of stuff in there that's ready to be released. Go ahead and take one more deep breath in. Good. If you want to keep your eyes closed, you can. You don't need to look at me or anything for the rest, the next few minutes. If you want to open your eyes, you may. And what I first want to do is have everybody turn off your cell phones, unless if you're watching this on your cell phone, hopefully you've turned off on Do Not Disturb. In fact, I didn't do that beforehand. Oh well, no one will call me. Everyone that would call me is on this class. And if you can get into a quiet space, great. But as we know, we got everyday life here with us. I'm so glad that Henry's here. I'm so glad you're here, Hen. You're going to make this class extra special, buddy. Yeah. Okay, so here's what I'd like to do. First of all, we may have some people during the class that as we journal and as we experience shifts in our emotions and in how we feel, there may be people who are going to want to share through the comments and post about things that they're experiencing. So first of all, I do want to just remind everyone and ask you to remember that this is a safe space, even though it's online and we're not in an actual yoga studio or classroom together. This is a safe space. Everything that happens in this class is going to stay in this class. Okay, if someone mentions something, it's not something you're going to bring up on a Facebook page. It's not something you're going to share, screenshot. It's all safe and it stays within this recording. Okay, so whether you're watching this live or you're watching it later as a recording, please honor that confidentiality and that sacred space. What I would love for you to do is I would love for you as, look at that. See, Jody went from a 3 to a 6.5 already. That's what we're talking about. Sometimes you just need to breathe through your belly, right? What I would like for each of you to do is think about or feel into what is the one thing that you would love to release. This class is going to all be about emotional release. So is there something for you that either maybe it happened today, maybe it happened this week, maybe when you were a kid. It could be about anything at all. It could be little, could be big. So just set the intention, and if you'd like to share, what is something that you would love to set the intention to just have it let go during this class? Whether all of it lets go or maybe just like one little layer of the onion lets go. But if you feel comfortable sharing, I would love to see so that we can hold that intention for you. Let's see. And you don't have to share. This is also, when we do this class in the yoga studio, it is, many people are very private. It's just kind of their own session. And other people really like, part of their release is to share and to speak. So Sandra, you need to release. I think we all do, especially those of us who are in the Northeast and lived through that storm today. So Kathy's intention to release self-doubt. Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else have any intentions of things that they would love to release before we pop into our actual class? Release the fear. Wonderful. Henry, is there something you want to let go of? No. Release emotions around your brother's suicide. That's a big, intense one, Michelle. Fear and jealousy, lack of courage, guilt. Yeah, let's let all these things go. Just, we're going to let them fly away with the wind. It's so windy right now. The eating binge you just had and the feelings around it. Oh, Carol, I'm so glad that you made it. Yay, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Anxiety, feeling rushed, being scared of everything, especially speaking. Very good. Very good. Love all these guys. Thank you so much for sharing. Those of you who've just joined, we're going to be going through the feelings kit, doing an emotional release protocol. And the oils that you will need will be Valor or Valor 2, Harmony, Forgiveness, Present Time, Release, and Inner Child. And we're going to go through each of them. We're going to have a little bit of time with each of them, so don't worry if you have to go collect them. You can do that. Okay, chronic and new health issues, the emotions tied to those. Yes, and there are always emotions tied to our health issues. Always. Always. Sexual abuse, anxiety and depression, anxiety, fear, anger, grief. Yeah, so we're coming to the table with a lot of things tonight, all of us, and I'm really, really glad that you all feel safe enough to share those things. Part of it is just putting them out there and seeing them for what they are. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how the oils work in terms of releasing, because, many of us have done therapy before, talk therapy. Many of us have done lots of things to try and release stuff, and some of those things can take a long time, and sometimes you can feel like you're going around circles and nothing is happening, and sometimes you feel worse when you leave. I know when I was going through postpartum depression after Evan was born, I would often leave my counseling sessions feeling worse. It's just kind of strange. And the oils actually are going to be probably a very different experience for you. So I want to share with you why we can use oils for emotional release and how it works, right? So I think one of the things that we can all agree on is that we live in a society that has a lot of turmoil right now. Especially, those of us living in the U.S., there's a lot of turmoil swirling just with the changes in the political scene over the last few months. There is a lot of worry, a lot of fear, a lot of unknown that has popped up, and that affects us on a day-to-day level, even if we think it doesn't. And we know it has been shown in study after study that our emotional well-being and our physical well-being are very, very much connected. In fact, studies have even shown a link between disease and emotional problems that come from trauma in infancy and childhood, even trauma in the womb. So our experiences, our ideas, and our memories are actually recorded, not just in our brain, like as a brain memory, but they live. They literally live and they're encoded in our physical body. They're lived in our organs. They're encoded in our DNA. So when we have a traumatic experience, now traumatic does not necessarily mean a big trauma, right? Although there are many of us on our team right now that are going through big traumas. We have team members going through divorces. We have team members going through very big health challenges. We have team members on Essentially Powerful that are taking care of people that are sick. Taking care of elderly parents. We have team members that are having children. That's a traumatic experience. It's a wonderful experience, but so many changes happen with that is a huge upheaval. We have lots of team members that are moving. These are all like big traumas, but then we all have little traumas every single day. Gary calls them little T's, right? There's big T's and little T's, and the little T's add up as well. They add up, they become bigger and bigger. They kind of just pile on top of each other until we don't have any more space for them. Okay, so we basically, as these different emotions and memories get coded in the body, they're called the equivalent of a molecular memory. So we know that the limbic system in our brain, it plays a really vital role in interpreting and channeling intense experiences, particularly those of fear and trauma. And there are two parts of our limbic system in our brain, the amygdala and the hippocampus. And these are located within an inch of our olfactory nerve. Now, our olfactory nerve is our smelling factory, right? This is the smelling nerve. So when we're smelling an oil, it's going through our olfactory system, and it is going into our limbic system. I want you to think for a minute about the way that smell is attached to memory and emotion. Okay, so I would love for you to think back in your life and think of a smell that is associated with a good memory, a good emotion, a really lovely experience for you. Like if you were to smell it again, you would just be brought back to that feeling of happiness or bliss. Do you guys have any examples of smells that are associated with good feelings, good emotions? I would love to see. I'd love to see which ones for you. A lot of people say things like, somebody's cooking. You walk in, there's like a pot of soup on the stove, and it just brings you back to being a kid. Your grandmother's perfume, yes. Sometimes smells of beach homes or vacation homes will do that too. Angela's grandmother's perfume as well. Same with Kelly. Apple pie and grandma's Christmas cookies, smell of a roast dinner. So these are all memories from smells from childhood for you guys, it seems like. And look at how important grandmas are. Holy cannoli, right? Lemons in your mom's iced tea, Thanksgiving dinner, apple pie cooking in your grandma's kitchen. My goodness, grandmothers are just associated with all the good stuff. All the good stuff. The smell of dirt and hot dogs reminds you of your brother's baseball games. I love it. The pipe with your dad. Your grandpa's cigar. Oh, so these are great, and you know this, right? You instantly know, and when you smell it, you know where you are. You think of just that moment in time. It probably brings you back to feeling like a kid. Almond hand lotion. Sauce and meatballs on Sundays. That's so awesome, you guys. So you already know this, right? You know this to be true inside yourself. The flip side is also true, right? So we have some smells that bring us back to really good experiences and good feelings. And then we also have smells that when we smell them, they bring us back to negative emotions. They bring us back to a time where we felt victimized, or we felt upset, or we felt nervous or scared, or whatever it is. There are certain smells that bring us back to that point. And it's almost like we're there again, living through it, even though we're many years away from that experience. What are some smells that bring up that negative experience, or that negative emotion for you, and bring up feelings that honestly you would love to release? And sometimes these are easier to think of, and sometimes these are harder to think of. Cigarette smoke. Frankincense. Deanna, I have a funny story about frankincense. When I was in about 4th grade, I passed out in church when they were doing the incense. I was Catholic growing up, and they were doing the incense, and I hit the deck. And every time I smell incense, I think of that. Just being so embarrassed, and people picking me up and being all disoriented. So, yeah. Peel shampoo from being in the hospital. Some white wines. Hearing your parents fight. Is there a smell associated with that, Susan? With your parents? Yeah, and so this is good. We don't have as many of these ones that aren't coming, to the surface. So that's good. It shows that we have a lot more positive memories. But a lot of times smell can be good and bring up good stuff, and other smells can be, can just bring up things that we'd rather not be a part of. The cool thing about essential oils is that they not only release trapped emotions by promoting emotional clearing, but they also, if we use them daily as prevention or to help relax us, they will help us keep a fresh slate. And that is why, I know a lot of people will say, oh, I don't use my oils unless I really need them. Sometimes we wait until we're on the point of, literally, and breaking down and just being so upset, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I could use my oils now. But the thing is, if we use them daily in our diffuser, if we were to do this protocol daily, even just in a roll-on or a quick way that we'll talk about at the end, if we incorporate these oils in on a daily basis, it helps keep it all from piling up. Okay, so that's what I want you to think in mind as we're doing this today. How could I do this on a more regular basis to keep myself with a clean emotional slate? So a lot of the biochemicals in essential oils, particularly the sesquiterpenes, they increase blood oxygen levels in the brain. So the aroma of the oil and the oxygenation affects the amygdala in our brain in ways that help release stored emotional blocks, both in our subconscious mind and in our systems of our body, okay? So if we combine the aroma and the oxygenation of the oils, and we're using them regularly over time with intention, we can effectively resolve the emotional and then the physical problems that might have been rooted in past trauma. That is super cool, right? Because it's not like going through a therapy session. You get to smell, he's in here with me, sweetie. It's fine for him to be in here. You get to smell these and smell amazing. So it's like the best of all worlds, right? Wow. Now, here's the importance of why we want to use Young Living essential oils. Have you guys ever used the radio in the car, right? And you're trying to twist the knob and you're trying to find a station and it's all staticky and it's like, oh, that sounds awful. And then you finally twist the knob and you get the station on just that right frequency, and then it's, it sounds perfectly clear and beautiful. Well, oils kind of work like a knob on the radio, right? They tune us into different frequencies. Now, if you have really good, pure, high-quality oils like Young Living oils, it's like having the frequency and the radio knob turned perfectly on the station. It's clear, it's beautiful, it just sounds really good. If you're using sub-quality, subpar oils that are synthetic and that are not pure oils, it's like tuning into the static. And sometimes, instead of helping us release emotions and get to a better space, they can actually sometimes make us feel worse. So it's very important as you're talking to people and as you are using products to help release emotions that you are using Young Living, because you want to have that clear frequency tune-in, okay? All right, so the Feelings Kit by Gary Young, it contains 6 different oils, and he designed this to promote emotional clearing and self-renewal. I'm sorry, can you hear my heater? It's hissing at us. It's such a loud house. All of the blends that are in this kit they're all blends. So they're not just single oils. They are made up of many, many, many. There's background noise coming through. Yeah, it's my heater. There's static. We'll see if the oils will clear it up. They're made up of many, many, many oils in each bottle. So you're using like so many oils just by using these 6 blends. It's really cool. And Gary says, not only are the oils created to help overcome emotions, but they're created to use on a daily basis to support emotions and enhance good feelings and good memories, and they can just be worn like a perfume or a cologne. Now, you can use these with kids, usually over the age of 2, and they're very potent because they have a lot of lovely, strong oils in them. So usually with a younger child, you probably want to dilute them. You can diffuse any of these at any time to help get it in through your nose up to your olfactory system and help, even if you don't have time to put them on topically. And you can massage them into the body. So you could just even massage them onto your feet, onto your spine, on the back of your neck. We're going to talk about ways at the end how you can use these even if you don't want to do the whole protocol. What I'm going to show you tonight is the protocol, but it's going to be a little bit condensed. We're going to be putting the oils on in the order that Gary Young suggests it. When you're doing this protocol by yourself, you're probably going to want to take more time with it. But tonight we're going to go through it fairly quickly just to give you a little taste, a little sample of what the oils do. What I'm going to do, so we can each have a little time with the oils, I'm going to share about the oil. And then after I finish sharing about the oil, I'll have you put on the oil. I'll give you some suggestions for what to do. And then we're going to have just a few minutes of silence in between each oil. So you can lay down, you can journal using the prompts I'm going to give you, you can do yoga, you could walk around, you can do whatever you want. Sit there staring at the screen. It doesn't matter. You're going to feel called to do certain things. Nobody can see you, so you can do whatever you want. I'm not sure what I'm going to do because you're all going to be looking at me. So I usually just sit there and breathe the oils in when I'm hosting a class. So that's what I'll probably do. So you don't necessarily want to copy me. You want to do what you want to do. Okay, let's see here. So let's get right into the protocol. All right, Hen, come here, buddy. I want you to do this here with me too. Okay? So let's start with, if you have Valor the Original, this is what you're going to want to use. If you don't have Valor the Original and your kit came with Valor 2, then use Valor 2. I happen to love Valor 2. I just think it's awesome. Okay? So Valor is a blend. You all know it's been out of stock for a long time. I have heard that it is coming back soon. I don't know what that means. They've been telling us since September that it's been coming back, so I have no idea. But I would say to be ready because I'm assuming it's going to be in the next few months. It is a blend of spruce, rosewood, blue tansy, and frankincense. And Gary created Valor based on some of the oils that the Roman soldiers used to use before they would go into battle. They would literally bathe in the oils, and that would give them bravery and courage and just feel like they were ready to take on battle. So this is kind of what Valor is designed for. And I will say for myself, sometimes when I think about emotional release, I feel like I'm going into battle a little bit. It's not really something I choose to do a lot. I'm more of a thinker than a feeler, so it can be a little intimidating. So if you're intimidated by the thought of emotional release, use your Valor. It will help you out. Valor helps to overcome fear and opposition, and they give you courage, confidence, and increased self-esteem. This is something that Gary says. I'm going to quote him. Gary Young says, Valor is very powerful in assisting to balance the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems and create a feeling of relaxation. Only when you're in that space can you and are you willing to face your emotions. So that's why we start with Valor, because we need to be in a space where our nervous system is calmed down a little bit, and we need to be ready for this protocol. So at home, if you had your kit and you have unlimited drops, what you might want to do is take 3 to 6 drops of Valor, and you're going to rub them on the bottom of your feet. If you have somebody else who's applying these oils to you, if you're lucky enough to have a partner there with you, they would apply the Valor on the bottom of your feet, and then they're going to cross their hands either this way or this way, however is most comfortable for them, and they're going to hold their hands against the bottom of your feet after they put the Valor on. They're going to hold them there for a little bit, and they're going to start to feel the energy exchange between your feet and their hands. The Valor is going to help that energy start to flow. You'll feel like a little bit of tingling. You will feel it, okay? If you're sensitive to energy, you'll feel it right away. If you're not sensitive to energy, it might take a few minutes, but you will feel that. So if you don't want to put it on your feet, you can just put it on the inside of your wrists and cross your wrists. Just hold them there for a little bit to align the body. You could also put them on opposite temples. Really, you can put these oils wherever you feel called to. So if you hold your nervousness or self-doubt or lack of confidence somewhere else in your body, you could put the Valor there. This is not baking. It's not specific. It is using intuition. It is just kind of going with the flow of where your body wants it today. Okay? And yes, Erica, you can use this on your puppy. You could go through this whole thing with your puppy. Okay, so what I'm going to invite you to do is I'm going to put this on myself and Henry while you guys put your Valor on either the bottom of your feet or your wrists or your temples, and then we're going to take a little break and be quiet. So if you do want to journal, here's a question that you could journal about. What's coming up for you as we're starting this workshop? Okay, just journal about what's coming up, how you're feeling about starting it. And after you put the oil on, just lay down or be quiet, be still for a little bit, and let it do its work. And then we'll come back together in a few minutes, and we'll see how it was. Okay? All right, Henry, can you take your socks off, buddy? Why don't you sit up here on the couch with me? And one thing I will say after you put this on, if you want to just hold it under your nose and continue to breathe it in, that's really nice too. Okay, like this. There you go. Okay. Go ahead and lay back. I don't know if you guys can see. Just got my hands crossed on his feet. Okay. So, oh, you know what? I usually use my little gong. Hold on. During class, just so it's not quite so. That way you won't just hear my voice, you'll hear that gong. So we'll do that in between our oils. Hey Liz, if you've got your boys around, you may want to do, Henry and I are doing Feelings Kit together. So I would love to hear what you noticed, those of you who put Valor on the bottom of your feet or on your wrists or on your temples. What did you notice from that? One thing I noticed is as I was holding Henry's feet with the Valor on his feet, I was feeling so much energy coming through my feet. It started getting the energy moving for me even though I didn't put it on my feet, which is just wild to me. What did you guys notice? Laura, you moved from an 8 to a 3. Were you, wait, is that better or worse? Was 8 feeling, how did we say at the beginning? 1 was scattered and frantic and 10 was totally balanced? I'm hoping and assuming you moved from scattered to balanced. Our scales might have been off. Okay, better. Okay, good. Susan, you could feel the pulse on your feet too. Good. More balanced and clear, relaxed. Isn't that amazing? Just one blend can take you from, Laura moved her five spots on her frequency chart. That's so great. Shalene is feeling confident about what you're going to work on the next few weeks. Awesome. 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 1 oil. That's only the first one. Are we ready to move on to the next? Okay. And you can stay laying down. Okay, so the next blend that we're going to put on is Harmony. Okay? You can think about choosing a Christmas tree with your mom. Does that require bravery? All right, so Harmony oil, this is really designed to bring balance to all the energy centers of the body. So we have 7 chakras in our body, and chakras are they're just energy centers. Okay, we have one up here, we have one here, we have one in our throat, we have one over our heart, we have one right here in our solar plexus, we have one down in our pelvic area, and we have one at the base of our spine. And these are all different energy centers that basically run the energy of our body. And I'm going to read to you what Gary Young says about Harmony. So Gary says, Harmony is for harmonizing and opening the chakras or the energy field so that the energy starts to flow and you don't feel confrontational or combative. He's a smart guy, right? Because if you have those feelings, you're not going to release the energy of the emotion. Right? It's so true. If we're feeling combative, confrontational, we're very much in resistance. We're not open to releasing. So he says, so the next oil I went with in the protocol was Harmony. And the reason is because when you're in an emotionally distressed state, your energy field, we refer to as the chakras, the energy points or energy meridians of the body, they are all scrambled up. And when you have an emotional block, let's say you got a distressing phone call with really bad news. The pain of this news goes to your heart immediately. And so the heart chakra locks itself down because the pain can be so intense it can cause complications in other parts of the body. So the chakras below the heart and above the heart close to try to conceal the emotion and the pain to the heart only, rather than letting it run through the whole body. Right? It's like your body's self-defense mechanism. So Gary says we have to open the chakras and we have to balance them. And so Harmony helps the energy start to harmonize and flow correctly again. How cool is that, right? I think I had some notes. Hold on. I think I had some notes on Harmony from listening to a talk that Gary did. Let me see if I can pull those up. Let's see. It says... Well, I'm going to send this to you guys. I'm not going to read this all. I want to keep in the protocol, but I'll send you some of these things that Gary wrote about each of the oils in the blend and why he picked them, because it's really tremendous. All right, so we just put Valor on our feet or on our temples or on our wrists, and now we're going to use Harmony to balance all the chakras. So what you can do is take Harmony. You can use it wherever you want. In the protocol, he talks about using it over the heart. So you could just rub it right over your heart. If you feel in your body like there's any place where things are stuck and not flowing through, and maybe that's not even on your heart, you can apply a Harmony there. So if you want to be official and do the protocol, right over your heart. And then we're going to be quiet again. And if you want to journal, you may want to journal about where do you feel any blocks in your physical body or in your emotional body or your spiritual body. You know, where are those blocks, and do you feel anything starting to flow or change after you apply Harmony? Okay? So Hen and I are going to apply Harmony. I did want to mention, if you do need a carrier oil, you can grab one. You don't often need one, but you know, sometimes these are intense ones, so just tune into your body and see if you need to add a jojoba oil or V6 or olive oil or coconut oil afterwards. Okay? So we'll be quiet, we'll do our Harmony, and then I'll check back in a few minutes. So as you start coming back from your experience with Harmony, I would love to hear if anybody had an experience with it. Anybody felt like things started harmonizing or balancing or maybe flowing up a little bit more than before you had the Harmony on you? How are you doing? Good. Anybody notice anything? The next oil we're going to use, if you need to get it, is Forgiveness. So just to give you a heads up. Warming over your heart, some stress melting away. Great. That's good. What else did you guys notice? The interesting thing about the oils is they do give us a moment to pause, and for most of us, we do not pause in our daily life enough to actually tune into this body of ours, and so it's great. Sometimes it can be hard to have the information come if you're not used to it. But I feel the oils are great vehicles for bringing us that information. Chills and blood flow through your body, joyful. You feel the energy in your heart start moving. Wonderful. Felt your whole core loosen up. Warm and relaxed. Warmth over your heart, but a pit in your stomach near your sternum. Okay. Wait for the next oil, Kelly. That may support you. Warming energy overall, opening in your crown chakra. Cool. Mid-back ache release, more flow through the heart. Okay, felt your heart beat harder and open, your feet felt cold, tight areas loosened up. Wonderful. You guys are so good at tuning into your bodies. I love it. We have such aware and intuitive people on our team. It's so great. All right, the next oil that we're going to move on to is forgiveness. Okay? And forgiveness has Melissa in it. We know Melissa is super expensive. What is it, like $15,000 per pound, $12,000 per pound? Geranium, frankincense, and a whole boatload of other oils. This is a potent one, guys. Forgiveness is designed to allow the release of harmful memories and promote a willingness to move forward beyond them. This is all about forgiving and letting go. Gary says, with forgiveness, be in a space where you've got time with no restriction on it. So if you need an hour or 2 hours with just this oil, he says, do it. Just lay there in peace, no music. No music because Gary doesn't want you listening to anything except yourself. So be in a space of total peace and quiet. So we're not going to spend an hour or two with forgiveness tonight, but what I recommend is if you do this protocol on your own at some point and you have a chance to be with it for a long time, that would be wonderful. The other option for those of us who have lots of people around or are busy, Gary recommends putting forgiveness around your navel at nighttime before you go to sleep so it can work all night long for you. Doesn't that sound cool? So what we're going to do with forgiveness is we're actually going to put it around our belly buttons, around our navel. We're going to go in a clockwise direction. So I'm going to be opposite to you, so don't worry about watching me. Although if you do it counterclockwise, it's okay. But energetically, the clockwise is great. So if you're thinking of your belly button as like 12 o'clock, underneath your belly button is 12 o'clock, and on top of your belly button is 6 o'clock, you're going to go from 12, you're going to go around to the right side of your belly and up to 6, okay? So if you're right-handed, you're basically rubbing up to the right and around to the left, okay? Even if you're left-handed, you're still going to be rubbing up to the right and around to the left. And again, I'm opposite you because of Facebook Live, so don't follow me. This is where all the nerve endings come in, is your belly button, so that's why he's putting it there. And then what we're going to do is put a little extra bit either under your nose or on the tip of your nose and keep breathing it in, okay? All right, yes, Regina, if the recording works, you will be able to watch it again whenever you'd like. I'm actually going to make a short version too and put it on our team website and YouTube page so that you could go through the protocol quickly and just pause it whenever you need to. Okay, so everybody, what we're going to do is put forgiveness around our navels, and then if you would like to journal, it may be really lovely to journal about what do I want to forgive, forget, and let go today. Okay, so I'll be back with you in a few minutes. This one's slow to come out in. Okay, I'm going to put it around your belly button. Hungry? Why don't you go eat? Okay? Just putting that around your belly button. Okay. Why don't you go eat? Okay. I'll see you in a little bit. So I always have a hard time teaching this class because I feel like we could all just sit with these oils for a really long time, and it always feels like so premature to ring that little gong and come back in. So I apologize if I'm just teasing you with these oils and then making you move on. But also we don't want to be here for hours and hours. So this is again just a taste, and then you probably will want to do this again on your own and be able to take as much time as you want with the oils. Okay? So now what we're going to do, if anyone wants to type in actually what they experienced with forgiveness, if there was anything that popped up for you, please type that in. I'm going to go ahead and, your cats are curled up in their little beds. That's so great. Yeah, the oils have a huge effect on the animals. This is great to do on animals too. I'm going to go ahead and talk about present time, and if you want to share any experiences with forgiveness, I would love to read them. So Gary says, if you've been laying there with forgiveness and you're not feeling any emotions coming to the surface, it's most likely that you're not in the present moment. Anytime a person is stressed or angered, they are not in present time, right? They're in the past somewhere. And I would argue, or in the future, right? You're either in the past, thinking about something that happened, worrying, replaying it in your mind, or you're in the future, worrying about something that might happen or wondering about something that might happen, right? So, Sandra, that protocol takes just as long as it does now. I mean, you could do it really fast and just hand around the oils and everyone use them, or you could take a little bit of time with it, like we are. It's totally up to you. We have a whole script, actually, that I am reading off of that you could use to deliver this class. It's right here. So you could do it however you want. Okay, so if you are in the past, and I would argue if you are in the future, emotions are not going to come up. And that is why we use present time. Present time promotes feeling of living in the moment. This blend has neroli, it has spruce, it has so many beautiful and powerful essential oils that let you see the future with an open mind for new possibilities. Okay? Only when you are out of the past and in the present can you start to let go of emotions. Okay? So first we want to kind of forgive ourselves, but if we can't forgive, it may be that we need to get into present time with our current selves to be able to forgive ourselves from the past. Okay? Or someone else from the past. All right, Gary at convention 2 years ago, or maybe it was last year, just kept saying to everyone, you need to be bathing in present time all the time, because we're never in present time, right? We're always in the future or the past. And when we talk to ourselves in our heads about stuff, it's usually about things from the past or the present, right? So if we are really in present time, we're always all okay, right? We're always all okay. So this is such a powerful blend, this present time. So what we're going to do with present time is we are actually going to take a drop, and then you know this little notch right here, this notch here in between your two collarbones, there's a little notch. We are going to basically rub it under that notch, and then we're going to take our pointer finger and our middle finger, or all your fingers, doesn't really matter, and we're going to tap it. Okay, so this is your thymus. We're going to rub the oils on, and then we're going to tap it. The protocol says tap it 3 times. I like to tap more than 3. You can decide when you're done tapping, okay? So you're going to put the present time there, rub it in, and then tap. Now, if you want to journal, you may want to wait and be in present time for a little bit. And then if you want to journal, or if you want to just have a journal thought going through your mind, just notice, what is your experience of actually being in present time? What is it like? You know, how is that? It may be the first time you've been in present time all day today. Okay? So again, we'll take some moments with our oil. You can do a yoga pose, you can lay down, you can sit, do whatever it is you want to do. Yeah. Hen, do you want to put this one on? He's eating. Okay? So have fun with your present time. I love how they all come out at different speeds. This one is like a snail's pace. There we go. Not as slow as vetiver though. So as you're coming back from your present time into this present time, I just felt the urge to remind all of you, if you're sitting down, make sure both feet are on the ground. If your legs are crossed, please uncross them. Put your both feet on the ground so that you can ground into the earth. That will help you. Okay? If you're laying down, you don't have to, just have your legs uncrossed, please. Okay? So that the energy can flow. All right, so I'm going to read to you about the next oil, which is release. But if you have something you'd like to share about how it was to be in present time, please write it into the comments. I'm reading them, even though I'm going to keep going so that we aren't here till all hours of the night. We actually only have 2 more blends, and then we'll go back to our final blend. So 3 more blends to go. I hope you're enjoying this. I love these. They totally bring me... They release the day. As a mom, they release the day. I will say that. Okay, so we're going to be using Release Blend next. Release is one that facilitates the ability to release anger and frustration. It promotes harmony and balance of the mind and body. And you can wait to see if feelings of frustration, anger, irritation, all of this are lifted. Okay, now I will say just a Christy note from my old health counseling days. We're entering the spring season. And so at this time of the year, our livers start to make themselves known. And our livers are really the storehouses of anger and irritability and like road rage and all of that. And so oftentimes this release is really, really great to help support our liver, because the liver, if it's holding on to all those emotions, it's also holding on to things physically. We can do our part to help release it. Just like we do cleanses and all of that physically to help the liver release, we can also help it release some of the emotions. So this is a blend that is great to use, but you do want to be in a space where you can let whatever is going to come up, come up. I think a lot of times people think they'll use release and then they're going to feel hunky-dory, and often that is what happens, but sometimes when you use release, the stuff comes up. And so it may not feel hunky-dory at the time if stuff comes up, but that's okay, because we're going to finish the protocol and it will all become good. But if you use this by itself, just know sometimes you want to be, actually you always want to be prepared for it. If you use this on your child because you want your child to release whatever's going on in their temper tantrum, it may make the temper tantrum worse for a little bit, because the child is literally releasing whatever happened that day or however they're feeling. So don't be scared, Laura. It's often a very gentle release, and sometimes nothing happens. If you're going through this whole protocol and you're like, nothing is happening to me, I don't feel any different, I feel nothing releasing, nothing harmonizing, it's okay, because actually things are happening, you just may not feel them. It just may not be like wham, bam in your face. So don't worry. Oftentimes, I find too that if we're in a space like when we did it at the yoga studio, it was hard for some people because there were all these other people around. And if you're a private person or it's hard to go through this with other people. But then you go to sleep that night and all of a sudden you're a little more vulnerable and you're a little more open when you're sleeping, and that's when the oils do their work. So don't worry. Whatever is happening for you is exactly what's supposed to happen. Okay? So Gary says about release, you can put it on your heart, you can put it wherever you like, but he really recommends that you put it over your liver. Okay? So you're going to rub it on your liver. It's on the right side of your body. Again, I'm opposite, so I am pointing at the right side for me. Just kind of right here in your rib cage. So if you're doing this and you have unlimited release, you'd put a couple drops, 3 to 4 drops of release, and put it over your liver. If you've gotten a sample from somebody or you're borrowing it, just 1 drop is fine. And then, again, you can always smell it after. So if you want to journal, you may want to journal or just mull over the question, what are you ready to release? All right, so let's be with this blend and then we'll come back together in a little bit. is a good one. That's a good one. Anybody agree? Release is a good one. Whew. Okay. So, if you would like to share about release and what that was like for you, I'd love for you to post that. And we're going to move on to my favorite of these. We are going to have so much fun with inner child. Okay? Get ready. You guys ready for this one? All right. So we put valor on the bottom of our feet to help us feel brave and get ready to release. We put harmony over our heart to help harmonize the energy centers of the body and get energy flowing. We put forgiveness around our navel, where all our energy meridians go in, to help us forgive and forget and let go. And then we put present time right over our thymus and tapped, because sometimes we're not quite ready to forgive and let go. It's because we're not in the present moment. So we brought ourselves back, and we just put release on over our liver to help release anger, irritability, anything that is being stored there. Okay? So, now we're moving on to inner child. Okay? Gary says the inner child blend stimulates memory response and helps reconnect with your authentic self. So this is our true identity. This is who you were before you became a spouse to someone, before you became a mom to someone, a dad to someone, before you became a coworker, before you became a Young Living Silver or Executive or Star or Platinum or Royal Crown Diamond. This is before you became an essentially powerful team member. This is before you became, somebody who lives in a certain state. This is who you were as a child, your authentic self that you came into the world with. And oftentimes we lose this sense of self, right? We don't become ourselves anymore. We become kind of our role, whatever our role is, right? Oh, yeah, I'm a nurse. I'm a teacher. I'm Evan's mom. I'm Ben's wife. We become those things. And so it's really powerful to be able to tune back into ourselves, because children are so good at releasing. They just release and let it go. We hold on to stuff as adults because we don't think it's appropriate, or we don't have time, or we just don't want to deal with things coming up. So I'm seeing that release was pretty powerful for a lot of you. Awesome. So great. So great. Inner child is going to be awesome. Helps you reclaim your true identity. And Gary, when he designed Inner Child, he was thinking of what are oils that children love. So he put orange in, he put tangerine, jasmine is in there to help balance male and female energies, neroli. It's a very sweet smelling oil. Now, if you just want to smell it or put it somewhere on your body, you can. I'm going to give you the suggestion from the protocol, which I want to encourage you to try. Okay? So let me tell you your journal prompt first, because once I tell you what we're going to do, I won't be able to talk anymore. If you want to journal or meditate on anything while we're using Inner Child, it may be the question, which pieces of your identity are you ready to reclaim? What part of your authentic true self do you want to bring back? Okay? So what we're going to do, you could just rub it under your nose. Gary says that will open the pathway to connecting with your inner self. But don't laugh at me. See, I can't see all of you, but you can see me, so don't laugh. What I'm going to do, actually, is put Inner Child on my palm. And this is what Gary recommends, so, Gary Young knows these things. I'm going to put my thumb in the oil, and I'm going to press it to the roof of my mouth. So what does it look like I'm doing? Right now. Well, I got this on my mouth. It looks like I'm tucking my thumb, right? Yeah. That's intentional. When you press to the roof of your mouth, you're also stimulating and accessing your pituitary gland. But there is something about putting your thumb in your mouth and feeling the roof of your mouth. If you kind of move your thumb around, you'll notice things shifting. You'll notice like your palate releasing. It's kind of cool. But it'll also help connect you with your inner child. So you can put it on your nose, or you can try it. It's very citrusy, so it doesn't taste bad. And you can put your thumb Carol, you're joining at the perfect time. Grab your inner child, put it in your palm, put your thumb in it, and stick it in your mouth. And we're all going to sit there and be with our inner child for a little bit of time. And if anyone joins while we're doing this, I'm sure they're going to get a kick out of it. Doesn't that one smell the best? Smells so good. Diffuse inner child all day long. It's scrumptious. I had never smelled it until I got the feelings kit for the first time. I was like, where have you been this whole time? So how many of you did the thumb thing? How many of you did it? Give me a thumbs up if you did the thumb thing. I want to see. Was I the only one sitting there? Doesn't taste too bad, right? Okay, we got a couple thumbs up. All right. You guys played along. Good, good. So interesting. Yeah, it does taste good. It's from all the citrus oils in there, right? So I'd love to hear if anything popped up as you were doing that. And, you know, it was so funny. I heard this voice saying, I love you, Christy. You're my favorite person in the whole world. And it was me telling myself that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's an access to the pituitary through the top of the mouth. If you were on our hormone call with Jody Meschuk, she talked about that. She talked about putting, if you want to use oils to get to the pituitary and support it, just put them on the roof of the mouth. Yeah. Let me know what your experience was like with inner child. And then I'm going to talk to you while you're commenting about the last one that we're going to use. So we are actually, Jamie McKenzie calls Valor her bookend oil. She uses it in the morning and at night, and we're actually going to bookend our protocol. Oh, Jane, you started crying. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Good, 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 good. Release, right? That's release. That's so great. So great. Love it. So we're going to go back to Valor or Valor 2, whichever one you used first. And you're going to go back to that one, or if you have both, you can swap out the one that you didn't use at the beginning. We're going to go back to Valor. This is going to lock in the feelings of completeness and balance that you experienced, okay? It's kind of like the seal. It's going to seal it all up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to apply it to the brainstem, which is if you rub on the back of your neck, where your hairline meets your neck, there is a notch there, right where the base of the skull meets the neck, and that's where you're going to rub Valor in. You're going to rub it in clockwise. And then also, if you have the drops to use, you're going to put it back on the bottom of your feet as well, or on your wrists or your temples, wherever you did it at first. Okay, so the brainstem notch for Valor, the wrists, temples, or the bottom of the feet, and that's going to kind of seal it all in. So you may want to think about, or as you're with Valor, just be with a question of, what are your most meaningful takeaways from this experience tonight with the Feelings Kit? How might these oils and this protocol be supportive for you going forward. And I also want to encourage you, as you're using Valor and checking in with yourself, to notice, where are you on the scale of 1 to 10? 1 being, oh my gosh, I'm a crazy total mess. I'm so scattered and I don't even feel like myself and emotions are flying and not in a good way. That's 1. And 10 is, I'm so zen-like, calm, grounded, balanced. I feel like I am just floating on a cloud and I feel totally like myself. So just check back in with yourself and see where your number is now after we finish going through this protocol, okay? Any questions about Valor before we go through this final blend? I'm going to start putting mine on. If you have any questions, let me know. So back of the neck, the notch where your skull meets your hairline and your neck. And then either on the bottom of your feet or on your wrists. And then we'll come back together in a minute or two. Keep your legs uncrossed, please. Remember to breathe in and out. You're so very welcome, guys. I always need to teach this class whenever I teach it. If you know what I'm saying. It always comes at the end of a day where I really need to teach the class. All right, so would love to hear what number you're at now compared to which number you were at the beginning. So maybe I went from a this to this. Kathy's at a 10. Awesome. Gary, while you share your numbers, I want to share one last thought with you. Gary says, how do you know if you've effectively let go of an emotion? When you can go back later and revisit it and not feel an emotion from it. When you can talk about it, look at it, see it, and it's as if you were looking at a magazine article. You know you've dealt with that emotion and you've let it go. Can you forget it? Eventually, you can, absolutely. When you change the blueprint on the DNA template, then it will go. It will eventually go. The less you revisit it, the greater chance you have of forgetting it. When you've truly forgiven, it will be forgotten. He says, and folks, all of us have been through life and we've seen these things and we need to let go of them. So, it looks like everyone has gone up several numbers, which is wonderful. Isn't that amazing how just six blends of oils can do that to you? I mean, I will say that It would be lovely if we could all go through this protocol every single day, right? We could take the time to go through each oil and journal and check in and all of that. And maybe for you that's possible. And if it is, please do it. You know, have this box out either at your bed or at your desk or wherever it is that you could take a momentary pause and just apply them. And if you went through the protocol without me talking and going through all this education, you can literally do it in about, it takes at least a minute or so, minute to 2 minutes to open up the bottles and apply them, and you're going to want to smell them, right? But it can go very quickly. So I want to challenge everyone who is on this class to do this protocol for 30 days and notice what it does to yourself, to your emotions, to your state, to your menstrual cycle if you're a woman, to your family life, to all of it. I'm actually going to do that. It's been a while since I've done it. And it does really make a big shift in you. Now, what if you say, Christy, I just can't possibly do all 6 of these a day? That's okay. What you might want to do is choose 1 oil per day, right? There's 6 of them in the box. So you could do forgiveness on a Monday, harmony on a Tuesday. I mean, you could even mix up the order. It doesn't have to be in the exact order. But you could pick 1 oil per day, and then maybe on the 7th day of the week, you do the full protocol. So you pick the day where you know you have space in your schedule. Maybe it's a Saturday or a Sunday. The other thing that you can do is you could just diffuse these. So just put the kit right by your diffuser and diffuse 1 of the blends every single day. And that way you're smelling it. You're getting all of that. Even if they're not on your body, if you're smelling it, that is creating the link to the limbic system and getting starting to peel off the layers of the emotions. Okay? I will post... Oh, and in terms of getting them, the Feelings Kit is in stock right now. It often goes out. It goes in and out. So as of today, this morning, it was in stock. So you can get it with Essential Rewards points if you have enough. It's 175.75 points PV. If you can't budget in the whole kit all at once, I believe that all the blends are in stock right now. And what you could do is within 6 months, actually within 5 months, you could have all of the oils in the kit if you order it 1 oil per month on your Essential Rewards. You could combine Valor 2 and Inner Child together in 1 Essential Rewards order, and then just order 1 of the rest of the oils every month, and they would fulfill your ER order, your 50 PV minimum, and then you would have the entire kit in 5 months. So March, April, May, June, July. So by the end of July, you would have all of the oils in the Feelings Kit, even if you had to buy them 1 at a time. Okay? Let's see. I think that is it for tonight. I would love to, if anybody has any questions, I would love to take questions. If you would like to do the Release Kit as a class, I'd love to hear how it went for some of you who are hosting a class. How did it go having it in a group setting? I would love to hear how that was. And if you would like to host this class, we have a script. It's in the Business Builder page right now. Maybe we can just release the script along with the handouts and the journal questions, and we do have the protocol written out in just a 1-page cheat sheet as well, so that you could just print that out and do that whenever you'd like. So it's super easy. All you need for this class is a kit, sometimes some tissues, and the script, and that's easy. It's so super easy. Yeah, Laura, teaching it in a salt cave would be awesome. Would be awesome. Any question, guys, before we pop off? Oh, Angela, that's a great idea. Okay, so no, it is not too many oils to put in a roller ball. And actually, a lot of people who want to use the Feelings Kit every day but don't want to take the time to do it individually, they will put, a few drops, 1 or 2 drops of each of the blends in a roller, and then just roll it on the bottom of their feet, or roll it on their spine, or over their heart, or however they want to use it. So that is a great idea. It's also great if you want to apply it to your pets or to your kids, and they won't sit still for all 6. You can just put it in a roller ball. You could put it in a spray bottle, glass spray bottle, and have a Feelings Kit spray if you want. You can do whatever you want with them, whatever your heart desires. You could mix all 6 in a diffuser. That would be pretty potent. I mean, try it, Deborah, and let us know what you think. I kind of like to experience them individually, but that's my preference. I would love to see what you think if you put them all in. You're feeling your tongue is starting to come back, Kelly. So maybe inner child might be better for you on the tip of your nose instead of the roof of your mouth and your tongue. Did you use a big, big, big drop? Oh my goodness. Well, thank you everyone for joining me. If you found this helpful, I would really encourage you to share this, comment, tag people in this recording so that they can experience this. And like I said, if you have a kit and you have some people, neighbors or friends or people on your team that don't have the kit yet, so easy just to get together, pass around the oils from the kit, read from the script. At some point I will do a quick YouTube video on it so that you could use that as a prompt as well. But we want to get these oils and blends into people's hands because in our world today, imagine what would change if we were all being able to release things in a healthy way. Oh, you did orange and lemongrass, Kelly. Okay. The lemongrass would definitely burn. Yes. Yes. So go get your V6 or go get your coconut oil or your jojoba or your carrier oil, and I want you to put it on the roof of your mouth and put it on your nose and your lips to take down some of that burning sensation. Lemongrass is really hot. It's a hot oil. So you are welcome. I'm glad that you guys had a great time. Please spread the word. Okay, this was my way of getting this out to all of you in EP who are not here in Boston with us. Please now spread the word, share this, share the oils, mail samples to people that might want to do this remotely and don't have the oils yet. Sign people up so they can get their own feelings kit. Let's just see how much we can spread this. And if you want to do a 30-day feelings kit challenge with me starting today, please post in the comments too. I would love to see who wants to do it, and we can check back in with each other in 30 days and see how our lives are different. Okay? Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.